Okay, so let's go ahead and start on the dress with this sleeve over here. And I have explained to you guys in previous videos that I don't like to always follow the rules. But in this case, I'm going to kind of follow the art rules where I would assume that the light is coming in from over here because I think that it is still going to look really good to the eye when someone else or myself is looking at what I've colored. So I don't always follow the rules, but I always just go by whatever I think is going to look nice. And in this case, following the rules is probably going to look better. So I'm going to come in here with my, what was this, the pale sage. And this is all going to be lighter in here because I would assume that all here in this area would have a little bit of reflective light. So I'm just going to come in there with that and make that my lightest color. And then I think I am going to grab some apple green. And I'm just, notice how I'm holding my pencil so that I don't lay down too much. I just want a very little bit of pigment down on this paper. I'm going to go darker here, I think, where these lines are, but then in between the lines, I'm going to keep that lighter. Now here, where her hair is resting on top of her sleeve, you will make sure that you put more pigment in that area. And then here where she has the apron part of her dress, if that's what that is, meeting the sleeve. And then probably, yeah, I think I'm going to do this here like that. But this is not going to be my darkest color. So I want you to know that because that's going to make a difference. Because I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher and then I'm going to come back with a darker color. Because all here in these areas right here, where she's got creases in her sleeve, those all should be lighter, generally. At least that's the way that I like to do it. You just always need to kind of try to think of, think ahead of what it's going to look like when it's done and what would be aesthetically pleasing to the eye when you are looking at it or somebody else is looking at your completed coloring page. So this is my Prussian green again. This is the darkest green that I have in my color palette. So this is going to always be the one that I use for my heavier shadows. So I'm just coming in here in the corners and such and just trying to make these areas stand out and give them a little bit more depth. But I'm going slowly because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. And then I'll see how much I want to stay lighter when I start pulling things through. I don't think I didn't use the spring green. This is the apple green. And I'm going to start pulling these a little bit more. All these pencils rolling around all over the place. This is my, what was this one called? The Pale Sage. I think I did want it to be a little bit lighter here in between. So I'm going to show you a little trick for that with something I just purchased, which is really cool. Let me see. Okay, so I have this Tombow Mono Zero eraser, and as you can see, it has a very small, tiny little tip, and it is great for when you go out of the lines and stuff and you want to erase just a very small area. But it's not only fantastic for that. Like right here, where I wanted it to stay light and I feel like I kind of went too far down, I could just go over it in that one area and just erase some of that pigment out of there. Isn't that cool? It works really well. I think I need some more dark in here. This is my Prussian green. So this is not, I think I need, oh, these pencils rolling everywhere. I am going to try something with my chartreuse, and if it doesn't work, I'm going to go back and erase it. But I'm going to add some of this in here to kind of make it pop a little bit. This color is gorgeous. So this is my Prussian green again. See, after I do this one sleeve and I get an idea of where I'm going with this and what I want it to look like, which I still am not really there yet, then it will go a little bit faster for me. But right now I just don't want to lay more pigment down on the paper and then not be able to remove it. Because when you're using an eraser with these pencils, you can remove, I don't know, like a couple layers maybe, and be lucky. And if I had a bigger eraser, sometimes I can remove a lot more. But if you lay down too much, especially on this paper, in these papers with the, or these books with the Amazon paper in them, you will tear your paper. So you don't want to do that. Okay, and this is my lightest of colors. It's my Pale Sage, and I think I am going to come in here with my white and see if I can brighten it up a little bit here. And kind of go over this and burnish it out. Yeah, I think that looks good. See, now I kind of have an idea of what I want the rest of the dress to look, or the rest of the dress to look like, but I used a lot of colors.